Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for the very first Monday Night Raw of 2026, and that is Stranger Things is Raw, or Raw is Stranger Things. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share them to leave a like, comment below and know your thoughts on Raw is Stranger Things, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, this show pissed off a lot of people, didn't it? I was... After the show, even throughout the show, a lot of people saying, this is unwatchable, this is the worst episode ever, blah, 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 blah. The Stranger Things means nothing and all that. And to a degree, I could somewhat understand the Stranger Things aspect of it. But when it comes to this being like one of the worst episodes of all time and all that, and, you know, this is not even just people on the internet. Like, even people that I do follow and I respect were saying, yeah, this wasn't the greatest episode of Raw. And even some of my friends here were like, yeah, no, I wasn't a huge fan of it. And my analysis and my thoughts on it is that I don't know what y'all were expecting, to be completely honest with you. I thought this was a good, fine episode of Monday Night Raw. I thought this was an episode of Monday Night Raw with some Stranger Things coat of paint. Now, as for the Stranger Things thing, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Overall, I don't really care. I thought it was I thought the stage looked pretty cool. Would I have liked to see like some of the actors show up on it? Sure. But also, it's a double-edged sword, right? I mean, if the actors were to show up and they could care less about wrestling, then do I really want them on my show? No, I don't really care to see them at that point. So if no one really cared about the wrestling and they didn't want to show up, then, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was a good deal for WWE. They got a nice hefty paycheck and they're like, hey, we can have some fun with this. You know, the whole that the stage went upside down, that was pretty, you know, silly and goofy. I didn't need the constant shots of the cage and the van. I swear, when we came back from every single commercial break, it was always either on that cage or the van at the stage or a part of the barricade to show, ooh, we're in the upside down. I do love the music because, you know, I'm a huge fan of the music from Stranger Things. I think I have it downloaded on my phone. I need to double check it. And then I also like the chapters. I don't know why everyone was hating on the chapters. Like, oh, I'm just over the chapters. I'm like, I don't know. I thought some of them were pretty clever. Like Becky's chapter was pretty cool, pretty good. I guess I was combining her and Gunther's chapter because his chapter was also pretty good. Like He Who Remains. I enjoyed that. And then, of course, hers is not just her saying it. I thought some of these chapters were actually pretty clever throughout the show. And yeah, again, I didn't need all the cuts to the cage and the van, but overall, it didn't really bother me that much. I would say my only note would be I would have liked to see an upside down street fight. You know what I mean? Could have had Finn Balor there in his demon form. You could have had some Demogorgons out there, like just the statues of them standing and all that. Could have had the kendo sticks being the barbed wire from the upside down. You could have even done those stupid neon lights that they did. What was it? The pitch black match, or even that red lighting that the Fiend used to do. You know what I mean? Also, I think we had a missed opportunity not to showcase the Wyatts within the upside down. So I guess those are my only true negatives. I feel like we could have embraced it a little bit more within that aspect. Like, okay, to justify the Stranger Things theme, we're having an upside down street fight. Or something within those realms, right? Or a steel cage, but, you know, it's not just steel, you know, the vines from the upside down are also attached to it, and we could have used that to our advantage as well. You know, just something like that. I think next time for the next promotion, because there is going to be others. Let's face it. There's going to be another show that comes along that, you know, Netflix and WWE is going to strike a partnership for. And it will be themed. And I'm sure they'll learn from the mistakes that they did here. But again, overall, when it comes to Stranger Things, I didn't necessarily mind it all. Now, as for the show itself, again, I thought it was a fine episode of Monday Night Raw. I feel like there was a lot of course correction in this episode. You know, for some of what I consider negatives, but I have some positives for the future of the World Tag Team Division. Yeah, the Usos just came out to say, we did it, and then left, and then just walked up the stairs. But hey, at least they made it a point to showcase those titles on television, because sometimes those belts just disappear, right? Stephanie Becker finally has a story. Now, I don't know how legit the boot is that she has on. But again, you know, Raquel came across like a beast. I buy the chemistry between the two. They've had a couple of matches. I think they mesh well with each other. And again, there's an actual story here. Raquel is pissed off at Stephanie because she pinned Nikki Bella after I used my move, so I had the win. I have your number, Stephanie, and now you're injured. I'm a lion, right? I'm coming in, I'm hunting my prey, I'm gonna take you out. And yeah, she attacks her more out in the back, so now there's sympathy for Stephanie. Again, I don't know if the boot is a complete work or how legitimate it is. But yeah, again, there's an actual story there. I'm all for it. I feel like there's some jeopardy there because I don't think Raquel can really afford another loss, and I think she deserves a world title win. Again, I like that program quite a bit there. And as for everything else, the Intercontinental Championship for the women's, yeah, Maxine versus Becky just didn't click this time. I feel like their other matches, they've hit pretty well, and the crowd were like wanting to see Y2J because there were some chants were there too. And yeah, some spots were missed, but we'll talk about this when it comes to the Punk and Breaker match as well when we get to it. I don't need all my matches to be polished. I'm gonna say another controversial opinion here. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 41 is one of my top matches of the year. Is it top 10? No, it's not. But it was in consideration for it. Like it could be 11, 12, or 13, right? And what I appreciate about that match so much is just how real it felt. If you ever watch UFC or if you watch boxing, there's nothing pretty about it. It's just messy, it's not coordinated. Once it, it's coordinated because, they're strategizing their actual punches. But if you ever watch a fight outside, right, I guess, in high school, because, God, I really hope you all not getting in fights as adults or witnessing fights as an adult. But, if you're at a bar or at a stadium, high school is mainly what I saw it live, right? When two people hate each other and start fighting, it's not coordinated. It looks very, very ugly. And I appreciate when wrestling is able to incorporate that into their stories. And, Maxine and Becky, yeah, sure, maybe it wasn't necessarily like that, but for me as a viewer, I appreciate it. Braun versus Punk, they did incorporate that into the storylines. Now, I'm pretty sure the Frankensteiner was a legitimate mistake now at first because I think the commentary caught on to it pretty well. They're like, oh, he caught the ropes. Like, I appreciate that. And, at those ending moments with Braun Breaker and CM Punk, I love the story of it. The people who are hating Braun Breaker versus CM Punk, I truly do not know where you are coming from. So please enlighten me on this in a respectful fashion, of course. But, those final moments when Braun Breaker is so amped up and so excited, or was it the first spear? It's one of the spear attempts where he is so amped up, he is so excited, he is so gittery and just ready to go. That inexperience of him getting in the way, where Punk's able to break out of the way and he hits the pole instead. I think that was the first attempt because the second attempt is where they have that nice knee spot at the end. But yeah, I love that whole storyline of Punk, the grizzled vet. He doesn't know how many more matches he has left that he can be at the very top. So it is one of those things where, yeah, at some points, his promo last week, at some point someone's going to beat me, but it ain't going to be you. And he did. He survived. Even the 1, 2, 3, like he was like, whoo, okay, I did it. I broke away. Braun Breaker, where he had that young arrogance to him all the way throughout the whole entire match, doing really big high spots here and there, really risking it all. But again, his ignorance became his bliss, right, in a lot of ways, because he goes for that spear again, and Punk is just 2 steps ahead because he has it well scouted. I also really like how it took 2 GTSs to get him down. Again, I enjoyed the match quite a bit. And Punk retains, which again, overall, I think was the right decision. I really could have gone either way. I know a lot of people were pulling for Braun Breaker, according to a bunch of my friends who were like, no, they should have pulled the trigger on Braun. But y'all know how I feel. Braun Breaker is someone you coordinate at one of the big 4, right? And if the rumors are true that they are going to run it back at WrestleMania 42 this year, then at that point, yes, Braun Breaker should be crowned. Again, if it was Bronson Reed in this spot, which I do think it should have been Bronson Reed in this spot, then yeah, by all means, have Bronson Reed pull the trigger. Then, because again, no disrespect to Bronson Reed, but they don't see Bronson Reed as a Roman Reigns, as a Cody Rhodes, as a John Cena, as the face that will run the place. Braun Breaker, they do see him as that. So therefore, when you coordinate him for the first time, coordinate him at one of the big shows. And then, of course, we are talking about the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Mesh wasn't there, and the crowd wasn't really into it. Did like Becky Lynch getting the win over that. I actually have Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee booked at WrestleMania in my pre-booking. But I have it for a non-title. Now, I think Maxine only lost it because she's about to go on her honeymoon, which congratulations to her for getting married. But yeah, I don't think AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch needs the title. I think that feud alone, as a standalone, is fine enough. So maybe Becky loses it to like a Natalya or something like that. Or, again, if we want to do AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title, by all means, so be it. But I'm pretty sure that's the direction that we are going. And then Liv Morgan versus Lyra Valkyria. It was fine. Again, it was a good standard TV match for what it was. This is where we have the shenanigans. I do appreciate WWE at least giving us finishes on this show because, on SmackDown, everything had a 1, 2, 3. In this show, everything had a 1, 2, 3 finish on it. And, we had the whole shenanigans here and there. I also didn't think, I know it was Liv Morgan's first match back. I just also didn't think she fully needed the win, to be completely honest with you. Because, again, if we're trying to build that tension of the Judgment Day that they're breaking up, even though they're saying, hey, we're still good together, I think, Raquel technically went to business for herself to go attack Stephanie Becker, right? And then she got kicked out of the building. That could have been part of the Judgment Day's plan, is to have both Roxanne and Raquel there. And then, since Raquel was not there, Liv Morgan's plan got haywired, and that's how Lyra Valkyria was able to get the win. And again, you could continue the storyline of the Judgment Day while Lyra and Bayley get a much needed win, in my humble opinion. I just would have liked it to go that way, but we didn't, and that's okay. I understand. It was Liv Morgan's first match back. She needed the 1, 2, 3. She's a heel. She wanted a heel tendency. I don't really love how we're making Lyra Valkyria to kind of look like a goof because she looks at Bayley. I get it, every wrestler does this, but she looks where she clearly knows the ropes is where Liv Morgan needs for the Oblivion, so she's like in prime position for it. I don't know. Some part about that was like, I can't really distend my disbelief completely when it comes to that one. And then for the women's tag team titles match, I thought the Kabuki Warriors were going to hang on after Friday because, Io pinned Kyrie. Proves how much I know about wrestling rules. But yeah, they won the tag team titles, and again, the match was fine. It was really, really fine. It was a good TV title match. We did a title change. Again, these people who are saying, hey, nothing really big happened on the show, we changed 2 titles. And we had a hell of a main event World Heavyweight Championship match. The Gunther and AJ stuff was also pretty good as well. Gunther just cracks me up. Have y'all seen his IG story? I am recording this on Monday at like 5 p.m. If you see his IG story before that time, what he had, where he has showing everyone tapping out to him, and like every time they tap out, the commentator goes, LA Knight taps out. I think it was LA Knight, Javon Evans, and John Cena. And he goes, Javon Evans tapped out, and then it cuts to him going like a bitch. It was so funny. And anyway, he coming out, he does his whole spit after Adam Pearce going, look, you beat John Cena, you earned that right, but please don't be disrespectful. Goes out, beats disrespectful, shows up the shirt. AJ Styles comes out, they have a confrontation. Me and my friend got in a little bit of a debate about this one. I don't know why I'm bringing up my friends so much on this one, but, we were pretty engaged throughout the whole entire night. Because I don't know why Gunther would back out. It's like, yeah, it's just to get him heat, and this is the long game. Again, I thought they might disperse for a little bit, and then they'll have the WrestleMania match. Maybe we do a 2 out of 3 feud. We do one here. We do one at the Chamber, maybe. Again, I think they might both be in the Chamber matches, but we'll see as we go on. But AJ comes out and he finally stands up to the bully, and the bully doesn't want to do anything. That's natural heat, right? That's how I saw it, and that's how I viewed it. And then, they get to the back. Oh, I want him, and I want him next week. So in Germany, we will be doing AJ Styles versus Gunther for the first time. Looking forward to that. Again, this episode of Raw, it was good. Was it great? No. Did WWE hype it up to be a great show? Yeah, because it really does seem like they're trying to make the first week of the new year to be like this special thing for them. They did it. I think this is 3 years in a row now that they made sure that their first shows, Raw and SmackDown, and NXT for that matter, have some really big cards and some big title matches attached to them. And at some point, the expectations are too high, and now I think maybe next year were tempered down a little bit. Last year, first Raw on Netflix, they used it as a spectacle show where, it was all about segments. It was kind of like they were out of character a little bit, like, look how cool we are, instead of just doing what you do, right? You were doing that presentation. You got promoted at the job, and now you're changing your character a little bit. Here, you stay to your character, you stay to your things here, and you treat it like a normal show, and some people just expect it to be like a PLE. Now that that's over, I'm pretty sure we'll get back to normal expectations when it comes to next week. But yeah, again, overall to me, this episode of Raw, it was fine. Is there anything to really run home about? No. But again, that's most episodes of Monday Night Raw. Granted, they did hype this show up pretty big, so I can understand why you might feel a little bit deflated, but it's going to be a long road. And I'm not just saying that because we're on the road to WrestleMania. I do think there was a lot of course correction when it came to this show. And I have some hope. Dare I say it, do I have some hope heading into it? That's going to do it for me. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this episode of Monday Night Raw. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's have a nice little dialogue. I know a lot of you disagree with me on the quality of this show. Again, I think it was fine and I think it was good. But I know a lot of you feel very differently about it. So let's have a debate down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made this far within a review. I did greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give you. Also, squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.